Okay, here I am live. Let me bring this window smaller. Okay,
Okay, here I am live.
here it's my streaming that's talking back to me. Okay, everybody. Um, I'm Sudha Jamthe, and this is Sudha Live. I'm back after a hiatus. This is my second week back. I've been doing this, talking to you since I think April of this year. And I really missed you when I was not talking to you. So here I am. So for those of you who are joining me new, this is Sudha Live. I'm Sudha Jamthe joining you from Silicon Valley, and I'm a technology futurist. So I like all the latest crazy new technologies, but given my experience of many decades in the business side, product side in technology industry, I temper myself to focus on where are the jobs, where are the opportunities. I also teach AI. It's called AI Bootcamp at AI Bootcamp for product and business managers at Stanford Continuing Studies. And I teach AI ethics at Barcelona Technology School. So my focus is always to find the next opportunities for my students. So I just wrapped up my current fall semester with my Stanford class and not done my correction yet. Hopefully, I will get to it before my Thanksgiving holidays next week. Okay, so what are we going to talk about? I said jobs, events, fellowship opportunities. It's all opportunities in the AI world. And for those of you who are joining me from Asia, because I'm doing this end of day, my Friday here in California, so that I can reach those people that I don't interact with on a typical basis during my morning. So thank you for joining me during your morning on Saturday from Singapore and Vietnam and anywhere else that you're joining me. So I appreciate that. And this is streaming on to LinkedIn and on YouTube. So I will be watching my LinkedIn. That's where you saw the echo of me talking to myself. I will be watching the LinkedIn for comments. So if I'm talking about something, if you have an opportunity that you want to share, if you work in a related area or you have a question for me, that's the place that I will look at it and I will respond and I will answer. I will find you answers if I don't know the answer. That's my promise. Okay. So artificial intelligence, AI seems like a big bucket. So when I say AI opportunities, you'll see me talking about a lot of different things, which kind of, could be in the world of data or in the world of IoT or autonomous vehicles, because that's the space I came from, teaching IoT, teaching autonomous vehicle business and value creation from data. And now I focus on inclusive AI and making sure that data is unbiased and we can do wonderful things from there. So exciting news. The next batch of Barcelona Technology School sessions have begun from October. The semester starts in October for them. Barcelona Technology School is this master's program, 4 different master's program focused on digital transformation. So they have a master's in big data, master's in product management, digital transformation leadership, and UX design, user experience. And I teach AI ethics and responsible AI for all 4 programs. And I find that an honor because these are brilliant students. So the next one is beginning. So I'm getting ready. I think the master's in digital transformation leadership is started already. And so I will be teaching AI ethics and responsible AI to them pretty soon. So the reason I'm saying is whatever topic I'm working on for my students is what my focus is. And so you'll see me focusing a lot and talking more on that. So if you are working in the space of responsible AI, on AI ethics, if you're seeing things, send them my way, because I like homework. I like to give homework too. But that way I can, be informed and give the right thing for my students. And even with my current Stanford class, one of the things I did was my usual AI ethics or AIX design exercise using Nightscope. Nightscope is this robot that roams around our malls here in San Jose, and it's supposed to be a security robot. And then every single time I do this with my students in various different branches, various different locations, like the Stanford class or the Barcelona class or business technology, business school of AI class, it's just amazing. My students come up with use cases which are ethical, and think of a design or the user interface design or AIX design, application of the AI, which is so much more than what the robotists are doing in my San Jose mall. So that gives me hope that I can continue teaching this topic on AI ethics and inclusive AI, and my students are going to go out and build wonderful stuff that is still inclusive. Talking of inclusive AI, um, one of my projects that I spoke to you about in September was called Global South in AI. And I'm doing this with none other than Susanna Raj, AI ethicist, who makes sure that I focus on inclusive AI and not get too excited about value creation, about with data, which is not, which is not in the inclusive realm. So a lot of my research is in the inclusive AI, focused on data inside autonomous vehicles. And with the Global South in AI, we are focusing on language AI. So Global South in AI is a nonprofit. It's a social affinity group at NeurIPS, top AI conference, and we are humbled to go and be part of it. So you must have heard, and some of you have heard, but cheer along if you've heard this and you want to, hear this again. We had a double-blind peer review process, and we had area chairs, amazing area chairs who work on language AI, want to bring diversity to language AI, understand what is involved in NLP or generative AI, and to make sure that, language is not just treated as yet another math formula, but brings the life and culture of people in an inclusive way to solve for local problems, to create reference applications from various different countries and continents. And so that's the calling of Global South in AI. And I did that with Susanna Raj. Susanna Raj was the first to make sure that we did this at the right research level as a double-blind peer review process. And we have 12 authors who got selected among everybody who submitted and who are going with us to NeurIPS. Some of them will be joining us live, and some of them will be joining on the virtual session. So the live one is on the 28th of November, right when NeurIPS kicks off. And we will be doing poster sessions with other affinity groups. There are other affinity groups. So ours is called Global South in AI. There are other affinity groups, Black in AI, Indigenous in AI, Queer in AI, and there's more, women in AI. And so we are very honored to be part of that cohort. And this is our first time, so we're hoping to learn from the other social affinity groups on how they go bring diversity and work so easily, because we seem to have put in a lot of effort, and we are very excited to be part of this. So so if you're going to be at NeurIPS, I would like to see you. I would like to know you. I would like to know whether you're presenting any papers, and maybe I will come cheer for you. And so we will be there on the 28th of November, and we have a workshop from Global South in AI. I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. And then we have that's in the morning. And then we have the poster session with all the other social affinity groups in the afternoon, just before the big kickoff of NeurIPS. And so I'm going with Susanna Raj and our program chair, Pariya Sarin. The three of us are going to be there in person. And I will tell you who else is going to be there at the live workshop in a minute. And the poster sessions, we have 12 authors, and I believe they represent 8 different countries. I just want to double check how many languages and how many countries that they're representing. And I'm so proud of them, because they bring local problems and passion to solve those problems. So whether we were going to offer this in their worlds and trying to bring diversity, solve for their problems in various countries like South Sudan, Kenya, Nigeria, India. I'm missing a few because I know at least there were 8 of them, and I don't even know all of them. Oh, there is one on Spanish, like um, a new model in Spanish, which is not just, the standard models that you see, but about sarcasm in Spanish language. And and me and Susanna are working on our own poster from the learning that we got in organizing this, in getting to know the various different groups that are doing this in Africa, they are doing this in Latin America, they're doing this in India and Asia. And what is the problem in creating language AI in a diverse way for low resource languages? Low resource languages are the ones that don't have the typical volume of data sets. So if you see GPT-3, look at foundation models like Imagen or DALI or GPT-3, they just say, oh, we've been trained from the Wikipedia, and they're looking at English. And so English is high resource language. So if they want to do that for Hausa language or Bengali or some different language, then they might not have enough data, and that is a low resource language. So our focus is on low resource languages from global South countries. There could be other languages like indigenous languages that are not specifically in global South countries, but it's not mainstream in the language AI world. Reference applications that are specific to other parts of the world, and to just bring the diversity and richness and what are the challenges. So Susan and I are working on a poster, so we will present that poster as part of the bigger poster session at Global South in AI poster sessions in NeurIPS. So let me go share the workshop details. Let me share my screen. Here we go. This beautiful logo was done by Susanna Raj. So it's amazing when you have a partner in your project who is a researcher who shares their passion for research, wants to educate people into the research, to do this to the highest bar, but is also an artist. So then they set the bar high. So thank you, Susanna, for that. So this is the NeurIPS workshop that is going to be at 11 o'clock in Louisiana, in New Orleans at NeurIPS. So this is a LinkedIn invite. So let me take a step back. So we have a group called Global South in AI, which is a group on LinkedIn. So if you're interested in language AI, or you're interested in adding diversity to Global South in AI, or you're just interested in our Global South in AI at NeurIPS, then we encourage you to join this group, right? So you can, it's just, if you search for Global South in AI, you'll get it. And everything that I share here, I will put this in my newsletter that goes out on Sunday. So you can actually like click the link and just join me also. And yes, that's a good idea. I should add it to the LinkedIn page. Where is the LinkedIn where you guys are watching? Hi, Susanna is here. So this is the Global South in AI page. So I've added it there. Thank you for that suggestion. So if you join here, you can just, get to know our updates and stuff. And then here is the event that I was showing you. I think I already open that link, and from there, so if you're going to be at NeurIPS, you need to be at NeurIPS, because NeurIPS will not let you in if you're not a registered attendee. And in NeurIPS, you can reserve a spot and tell us if you're going to be here. Thank you, Susanna, for this. So we have this workshop covering 12 countries and 8 languages. And this is at NeurIPS from 11 o'clock to 12:30, just before lunch. Remember this as the session just before lunch in the morning. And if you're flying in that day, this is a great opportunity for you to come and join us, right? And what you will do is you will learn about research on low resource languages. And how the way we are going to do this, we're going to have a keynote. And we have Bonaventure Doso, who is a researcher from Google AI, who worked on language research, who's now a PhD, who is part of MIRA Quebec Research Institute in Montreal. So he's going to be our keynote, and Jasmia Henry is going to be our keynote, and she's a senior applied AI engineer from Microsoft, and she's got stories to share from how resourceful she is in actually adding language AI diversity for low resource languages. I don't want to steal her thunder, and you can hear from her directly. And Bonaventure Dosu is a mathematician. He focuses on machine learning and bioinformatics, but he's also done research on on language AI. He's going to present that. And he's also a co-founder of Lanfrica, which is a group that is focused on creating resources and education and community for adding language AI for African languages, about 2,000 languages of the world out of like 7,000 plus languages out there. So it's going to be an interesting, diversity of topics and perspective. And I just find it inspiring to hear people who are going and changing the world against all odds, who are just marching forward and doing stuff. So I find that when I talk to Jasmia, when I talk to Bonaventure, that's the feeling it leaves me with. So I hope you'll join me. If you're going to be at NeurIPS, whatever your area of research, all of us speak some language, all of us are engaging with chatbots. There is this new excitement with how the world of computer vision and world of NLP is coming together with generative AI, with GPT-3 and the like. So, and that too, the APIs from OpenAI is for DALI and all is being open for business recently. So it's not just about chatbots. It's not just about developers playing with it in a sandbox, but it's an innovation opportunity for you to figure out how do you build applications with it and how do you, go solve real problems. So we live in very exciting times, and this is the latest area of research. And so it'll be awesome if you can join us. So do tell us, because we are going to buy some food. So we need to know how many people are going to show up. So that's my main reason. Okay. And then what we are going to do is we have about 90 minutes for this. So other than the two keynotes, we are planning a design thinking workshop. What's a design thinking workshop? A design thinking is a process by which you get people in groups and they think about solving problems together in a very solution oriented approach. So we don't start with, here's the technology, what can this technology do? You can say, here is a problem, how are we going to solve? And we bring diverse perspective together. And so we're going to drive that workshop. I've done design thinking workshop on various other areas, not on language AI before. I've done that with IoT and general innovation and AI and AV topics. So I'm very excited because 3 of our authors who have published, one of the 12 people who got selected with the double-blind peer review process, they're going to be joining us along with me and Susanna. And we're going to drive this discussion. And our goal is, how do you add diversity to language AI to make it work for all of us in all situations and all kinds of cultures in shared spaces? And how do you do that for all languages of the world, especially low resource languages? And so that's the workshop that we are planning. So let me go back. So you can go to our LinkedIn, Global South in AI. I need to get out of this to share that. Let me go back to LinkedIn, which is the page. Yes, it is 8 languages, 12 countries, and 20 authors. Thank you, Susanna. So I shared that on LinkedIn, so you can see the Global South in AI group page. Let me share that again. So you go to Global South in AI, and that's all you need to do. If you do that, obviously, you'll find the event here, and from the event, you'll see the Eventbrite link. And if you're going to be at NeurIPS, add a note. I mean, I would love for you to attend this workshop, but you can add a comment and say, I'm going to be here. This is my paper. And I would like to include that because I'm going to showcase a bunch of topics and speakers that I usually recommend for conferences that I'm going. So I'm very excited because it's been a while since I went to a conference in person outside of this Zoom wall. And this is a top AI conference. So I feel very honored to, even be a fly in the wall and to actually have a seat at the table to be able to listen and engage and meet these amazing researchers of the world. So if you have a paper, if you're presenting, if you're going to be there, if your company is going to be there, talk to us. I mean, at least, add a comment, and I would like to add a comment here in the live stream if you come see this, or at the Global South in AI group, you just add, and definitely RSVP and tell us if you have intentions and its availability to be part of this amazing process. Okay, so I try to do this, and usually the AI opportunities topic ends up being about 45 minutes. So I'm going to speak fast and tell you about jobs. And jobs is so important. I keep talking about jobs all the time, but when you hear of tech, instead of hearing about the innovations, you're hearing about layoffs, and the sad, horrendous way by which the Twitter layoffs are being handled is just heartbreaking. I know people who have worked with me in tech who are part of Twitter, part of Meta, and AWS has now announced some layoffs. And this is kind of, a wave that happens in tech, that there's a bubble that comes. This time it's not a bubble. So there was a high growth with the economy doing great, and there was a lot of hiring, and now they're kind of trying to reduce that a little bit. There's a method to the madness, and how to do this legally and how to do this with dignity, but it's very sad the way at least the Twitter layoffs are happening. And the people who are there, it's not just they're leaving, but they don't want to abandon the platform. So last night I was up with a whole bunch of people who are saying Twitter is going to go down, because people who are responsible for infrastructure in Twitter had to leave. They were forced to leave with whatever the process that being followed. And so they felt very sad, saying everybody in the infrastructure team is leaving. That means if anything goes wrong, nobody is going to be there, and the site is going to crash. So having worked in tech for many decades, I can tell you, like the people on Twitter were saying that it's just going to crash. It's not how it's going to happen. It's going to be a slow crash. So so that's the thing. At least the people who are leaving are going to be people like me, and there are a lot of people out on Twitter and LinkedIn and other places who are sharing jobs. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of jobs in my newsletter. I'll share a few here, and we'll help each other to find jobs in other companies. It's not a recession, everybody. There are jobs in other companies, so it's not like you can't find a job anywhere else. It's just heartbreaking that you have to suddenly go and you have to let go of something that you are very proud of. You were working, you were not planning to leave. So that's the reason they were saying that there could be a crash. One of the things that somebody from Twitter infrastructure team was tweeting was this: if they're not enough, not from the infrastructure team, so the privacy and security side of Twitter, they've all been disbanded. So they said there's going to be hacking maybe. So if you have your apps attached to Twitter, I had a lot of apps that I signed in using Twitter, so I had to go and disengage them. If you have your photos accessible to Twitter from your phone, try to remove that. Things like that you can do. And if you have done any payments on Twitter, then you definitely make sure that your credit card is not saved with them. So those are all ways by which your account can be hacked, because there's nobody to stop it. In all big companies, there's always hackers who are trying to break and do DDoS attacks and try to break and break in and come in. If there's nobody watching and stop, then chances are that it will happen. And I don't believe that Twitter will come down overnight, but at least if there is a bug, normally they would have brought it back up. Now there is nobody to fix it, and hopefully the people who are left behind are able to kind of bring the house back in order. So we'll see. And I've been on Twitter since 2007, when it was in early days when it got started, and there were like handful of us. We knew each other and we invited each other, and so many of my fellow early adopters of Twitter are social media influencers, or they're serial entrepreneurs. And Shell Israel wrote this first book on Twitter, and Tom Segela was one of the early employees, first 10 employees who built out Twitter, and he used to run the iOS dev camp. So I kind of got into this whole nostalgic thing of where we came from. And I used to do a tweet every day, and now I do multiple tweets per day. So I'm hoping that that will work out all right. So we'll see. So let me share some events and jobs before we wrap up. So the immediate thing I saw is from Deep Learning AI, how to build a real world AI project. So many of my students were asking about this. How do we build real world AI project? What's the process? So I did a lesson on that called the 4P framework. That is my own framework. So here's discussion on that, and brilliant people. And Anna Koroleva is a computational linguist. And I'm very biased towards people who are working on language AI right now. But we also have a couple other people. This is Kennedy Wangari from United Nations, and Mohammad Amar from DixFact. So there'll be some interesting discussion. That's on Tuesday, 29th. I'm going to be at New IPS, so I'm not going to be attending this. But if you're there, if you're attending this, I would love to get some feedback. One of the things I'm doing is, as I'm sharing a lot of jobs and events, especially, I would like to see, how is it going, and do you like it? What's happening? Things like that, to hear back from you. So even our Global South in AI, if you're going to be there, I would like you to go tweet and tell the world more about that. And while we are hearing from many companies going through layoffs and whatnot, we are hearing about more jobs. So here is a job from Apple. So we are looking for residents. So this is the hiring manager. We are looking for residents to join MLR at Apple. This is our ML research. So it's AI ML research organization. They are interested in candidates on physical sciences, which is physics or chemistry or biology, and specifically on climate, right? Who have knowledge of ML and computational models. So one thing I would say is, I was talking to somebody and they were saying, oh, but I come from a chemistry background, but my coding is not so strong. It doesn't matter. You're going to compete with everybody else who works in computers, who works not in computers but in chemistry or bio and other fields. As long as you can do some computational work and understand computational model of like what is relevant to your field of chemistry, and which nowadays I think they teach machine learning in all the different physical sciences areas. So this could be a good fit for you. So don't back away from applying for it. You can even take an ML course if you're very strong in your area of work. So the other thing is, the Institute for Rebooting Social Media, which is part of the Berkman Klein Center and Harvard University, has opened up and is asking faculty members from various different universities to apply for a fellowship for the Visiting Scholars Program 2023 to 2024 cohort. It's an interdisciplinary cohort of 8 members to produce original research, who will engage with the rebooting social media faculty, staff, and scholars. And it's an amazing organization. So I would recommend that. Let me see if I can open a page for that and show you. Instead of you looking at me, you'll know what I'm talking about. Here we go. So this is a cool logo, isn't it? The Institute for Rebooting Social Media. And while we are talking about what is happening with Twitter and how we need moderation in all the different social medias, right? This is a very important topic, the RSM Institute and their function itself. So they're calling for the visiting scholars. So take a look at that. And this is their announcement. And they have interesting articles about how to fix Twitter and Facebook from June. So I would take a look at that. So, and this is rebootingsocialmedia.org. This is where the call is. Let me put that on LinkedIn. Give me a minute. Fellowship. It's visiting scholars, right? Berkman. Berkman Klein Center. Okay, I can't find that when I do an on LinkedIn. I'm just going to give you the link. Okay. So I just typed that on LinkedIn. If you're watching that on LinkedIn, if you're watching me on YouTube, you might wonder, what is she doing? And here I was just giving the rebootingsocialmedia.org URL out there. So now for the set of jobs, I'm just going to read on. Duolingo CEO had posted that Duolingo is doing well and they have jobs. So I think it's careers.duolingo.org. Luis, let me go back. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, as you can see. So Duolingo is most definitely hiring and financially stable. So it's careers.duolingo.org. So then, they have good jobs. Thank you, Luis. So that was one I saw. Ironically, this is true. It's not a joke. It's not fake news. Meta went through a set of layoffs, very systematic layoffs, not the Twitter type. But in Meta Reality Labs, Tanya Jonker posted that they're looking for PhD research internships. and we are looking to put adaptive input and interfaces for AR and VR. So those of you who are in this whole metaverse, not the meta as in Facebook, but meta is hiring metaverse people on research internships for 2023. So one pattern you would see, and you can DM resume to Tanya Junker and see if that is something that's of it's a fit for you. So one of the patterns you will see is you would hear about layoffs, you will hear about a lot of people talking about that. At the same time, you will also see a bunch of jobs coming up. So it's very hard to kind of make sense of that. So this is Angelina, who is a manager. She is be hiring data scientists and ML engineering in fast.ai. So and timeline wise, she was very clear because we are getting into Thanksgiving. Typically, we have hiring freeze even if there is not any kind of layoffs. So she was setting expectations, and I like her honesty. She was saying she's beginning to talk to candidates. So especially if you're impacted by any of the layoffs in any of the other kind of companies, she said, why don't you talk to us, and we'll start exploring what opportunities we have and whether you're a fit, and do the initial round of interviews. And then the actual job postings are going to be out in January is her time estimate. So she wants to talk to ML engineers and data scientists. So if you're impacted by any of the recent layoffs anywhere, this would be a good thing for you to talk to them. Yeah. I had one more set of jobs. So before I close, I will to show you that. Um, where is it? Where is it? Let me find it. Mitra. TRB, where do I have it? There's a bunch of jobs from Mitra. They have like a principal artificial intelligence fairness and bias researcher in Virginia. They have lead AI and semantics engineer, which is a hybrid role. These are all in Virginia and Mitra Corporation. I do not have that here to show you live on the screen. Sorry about that. But I will share the links back on LinkedIn after I close out, and I will be sure to put this on my newsletter. Yes, and for those of you who are new to my newsletter, because that also I took a break when I was not doing this the live, is bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter. Do you see the link up there? Yeah, bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter. So if you go there, you can see my past newsletter archives. So you can join my mailing list, and I will resume back this Sunday. So you will get the links of everything that I'm talking about. Or you can go back and see my archives each week, and I talk about the opportunities in AI. And usually I have other links of interesting speakers and topics or videos and the like. This week, I'm just going to have this Sudha live recording in there, and then I'm going to share all the different jobs that I have been sharing here. The interesting with the Mitra thing is they also have an autonomous system expert job. They have like a AI security and perception principal AI engineer job. All of these are in Virginia. So if you're impacted by the layoffs and you want to explore these jobs, I think this is a good time for you to kind of go with them. So with that, I'm going to wrap up, and I'm going to see you back online via my newsletter on Sunday, or I will be back. We are not doing our weekly Wednesday. Yes, thank you. We have taken a break on that, but we will resume that after I come back from NeurIPS, not next week, because next week is Thanksgiving here in US, and the following week we are going to be at NeurIPS. And so I will try and see, I'll find interesting people at NeurIPS. Maybe I'll bring something from there. I don't know. I'm not promising that yet. If I find amazing people who are ready to be on air and I can do an interview or something, I'll bring it for you. Otherwise, I will plan for the week after that in the first week of December is my current plan to see you back online. Okay. And I will say bye, and I'm going to go off onto Thanksgiving, and at least for everybody in US who's celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to you. And I will see you all. Stay safe. And those of you who have been through the layoffs, I just want you to, not lose hope, because you're brilliant, and layoffs just means that they're shuffling, and it gives you an opportunity to go off and find something. It's not what you wanted at this moment in life, in time, but I hope you land well, and I'm sure you land well. So thank you, everybody. I'm just going to see if there's anything that on LinkedIn, a burning question or comment. When you come back and watch this, please add more links of jobs. I will pick it up and add it to the newsletter if I see it showing up by Saturday night. Otherwise, at least the people who are coming here can find those jobs and benefit from that. And I heard that Mia Dand in her newsletter had shared a lot of jobs. AI ethics expert, Mia Dand. She runs this 100 Brilliant Women in AI ethics community. And I have not seen the newsletter yet, so I definitely would recommend checking it out because there's a lot of jobs in there, I heard. And Dr. Tehra Saib, who goes by Sonia, who is a responsible AI researcher from Iran, has moved to Bay Area. So welcome, Sonia. So I have worked with Sonia and I've even published a research paper with her. And so I would highly recommend Sonia. So if you're, looking to hire responsible AI jobs, Sonia is a great person on the academic side or on the technology research side. So I'm just going to add Sonia, her name here, Sahib. So I'll make sure that I will find her and link her here. Okay, I found her. She's a social scientist and business technology researcher with experience in AI ethics and big data digital. So that's her. I'll just say recommending. Okay. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. We finished promptly by 6:45. I'm very proud of myself. So with that, let me wrap up. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I will see you all very soon next week. Okay, bye. Not next week because I'll take a break for Thanksgiving, but the following week. Okay, bye.